Greetings Internet, welcome to Aaron Plays. In this episode I will be continuing with my playthrough of the first mission of Ambush, and I'm going to start off with talking about this little grid here. So far, well, I've done it two ways, and I think I've done it incorrect both times. I've been delving into Board Game Geek, and I now think I've found the correct answer on how to set this up. The first method I used in the earliest videos was almost correct. The second way I was doing it was definitely incorrect. So when I get to the point of setting this part up, I will go through mythology and how I now think that this is set up. This is what controls the actions or where we go. So just as a brief recap, the aim for me is to, well, gain 13 victory points and I win the mission. To win the mission, to aid in that, if I have a guy in each of those hexes there, one in there and one on this upper level, the mission will end. I'll gain a bonus 4 victory points for doing that. Currently I am on 7. I could also end the scenario by exiting the map between those two red lines there. I had started with a squad of 8. I'm down to 5. I've got 2 men incapacitated, 1 killed in action. So I am down to 5. And currently there are 2 Germans in here. There is 1 over here. And then we know there's at least another one in this area who had been here, fell back to here and then disappeared. So I'm not quite sure where he is. He's an Ossifer, a German Ossifer. So that's the situation. My guys are here. I started with the initial plan of splitting my squad into 2 groups. First part, the move team coming around here to take out this building. The fire team advancing along here, then get into this position to give them fire support. Then to move onto the hill, then take this building. That was plan A. With the evolving situation, with the Germans being around here, there was a sniper here, 2 more Germans here. The plan then was to move around here and take out this position, and then move to here, and then come the other way around. That was plan B. We're now on to the evolving plan C, and I'm thinking of getting these guys back across this side and go back to a sort of modified plan A. That's the current situation. However, I am conscious I am at 3 guys down. If I take another hit, I might reevaluate the plan and decide to pull out, because this is part of a campaign, and I don't want to lose all my guys. So that's a brief recap of what we're at. I'm now going to move on to, I've changed the camera angle for the timing, see if that makes it any better, so we can focus a little bit more on this area. That's where I roll the dice. So yeah, I might move the dice so you can see them a little bit easier. Well, you haven't been able to see them at all. And I think I'd like you guys to see the dice so you can get as excited as excited as I do. So we're starting a new action round. The first thing I do on this is roll a random event. So let's put the dice there so you can see. And we have, now zeros are low in the system, so that is a total of 9. So looking at the paragraph for 9, and I am conscious this is the thing that slows the game down just a little bit. Right, it tells me to go to paragraph 3, 4, 6. 3, 4, 6. If German 34 has been removed from play by evasive movement, C611. Now German 34 is the officer, but has he been removed by evasive? He was told to be removed, but was that evasive movement? Oh yeah, he was removed from the map, but is that classed as evasive movement? Because he didn't mention evasive movement in his removal. Well, let's find out. It is classed as evasive movement if they are removed from an outer line of sight, which they were, and then removed from the map. So it says if the German 30 was removed from the play by evasive movement once, and it has been once, C611. So I need to see 611. So this is all from a random event. 611. If any active US soldier is in sight of hex T8, so that's this building, stick with mitts all over the board, is this building here. Okay, so the question is, do we have anyone who has line of sight to that building? Now, as I found out in the last episode, these elevation changes do not block line of sight. Now, if this was ASL, or pretty much most tactical games that I know of, changing elevation, if you were back one hex, it would block line of sight, or at least down it you could see only a little bit further, but this has, it's classed as a continuous slope. The only time it does block line of sight is if there is here, like here, an escarpment hex site, which is a sudden elevation change. So, going back to that original paragraph, quite a few of my guys can actually see building T8. So continuing reading that, I guess which Muppet closed the booklet? 646, wasn't it? 64. I have to go back. 346. Right. Don't close the booklet. 346 611. Right. Okay. This is what I was keeping notes of this, so it's 611. So just in case it says me there. So if an active US soldier is in sight of hex T8, yes, activate German 34 in that hex. So Hossifer comes back. Okay. Crouching. Just put on crouching. Commence rounds. Right, we're already rounds. Put special reaction B into effect for German 34. Special reaction B. Okay, so he's got on him. Okay. I must remember that. When he activates, he's doing special reaction B. Okay. So that's the random event. The next part of the turn is the initiative. So, alright. So I've got these dice which I use for most rolls. When it comes to things that my guys or another guys roll, I roll one of each colour. So the Germans have rolled a 9 and I've rolled a 1. So the Germans have the initiative. Using those numbers is how and where I place these chits. So the officer is back, X. We're looking now, this is where I was talking about. So these numbers here, so X is back. Okay. The numbers on here is their initiative ratings. Okay. And I was thinking, all right, so this here helps to guide where I put their initiative ratings in comparison to, do they have 2 turns or 1 turn? We have the yellow line and the blue line. The yellow line is for advantage, or initiative, advantage, which the Germans have. So I'm looking for the number, they rolled a 9, the 9 along here. And in the advantage column, he will get 1 turn. So I place that there. Okay. Then looking at my A, Ambrose. So now I'm looking for the number 1, which was rolled by the Americans, and I'm looking in the disadvantage line, and that will put him there. Then I'm looking for Bell. I'll still look at a 1, so where does he appear in this row? So the number 1 is there, so he will actually get 2 actions. Then we're looking for the German L for the number 9 in the advantage column. Okay, number 9 is there. That's in red, but the Germans ignore it when it's red. That's only for my guys. Then we'll look at Dylan, looking for the number 1 in the disadvantage. He's there. We're looking for German R. Okay, and we're looking for number 9 in the advantage, so he gets 1 action as well. German S, number 9, he's there. Gibson, number 1. Oh, he panics. That means Hudson panics. So 2 of my guys panic. Okay. So at that point, what I was doing was saying, right, okay. First off, I was activating in the earlier videos. I was activating along here. So this guy would activate. Then I would be doing along here. Then this guy would activate. Then I'll be doing along here. Then it would be that guy. Then that guy. Then that guy. Then this row, that guy, and then these guys don't activate. That was incorrect. So I then decided, well, if that's incorrect, because it's the one part of the rules, which I think is probably the most important part of the rules, they have it's all inferred. It's not actually clearly written down. So the next way I thought was, well, okay, I thought it was, if it was a guy here, I'm going to put, actually, look at number 4s and a 9. Yeah, so actually that's meant to be there. It's initiative 4, not 5. So actually I thought, all right, so it must be working this way. Right, 2 turns first, so there's no one here with 2 turns. Right, so then him with 1 turn. That's not correct either. So then I thought maybe it's that guy goes, then that guy. No. Okay, someone actually quite clearly put it down. It says once you've actually put them on here, all right, the actual box they're in is irrelevant. It's just purely the rows. So you start on this row. So even if it was placed, go cack-handed around the camera. Okay, so anyone on that row activates first. If it's a German, they are done in alphabetical order. Because you only have 1 nationality on each row. So if there was 2 German counters on here, they would go in alpha order. Not dependent, so it's irrelevant their position on this track, on this row, is purely in alpha order. On my row, it's I can choose. So I could have the person with the lowest initiative. So say there's one with a 1 here. When it got to this row, I could have one of them activate before this guy. It's irrelevant, the box on here, once you determined where they are on what row. So when it comes to this row here, with the Germans, they'll activate in alphabetical order. So it'll be R, S, then X. On this row, I can have Dylan activate before Ambrose. So that once someone said, and it's not mentioned anywhere about in the rules about the rows. Okay, but once someone explained, and once you read all the inferences and such forth, it becomes quite clear. So as I said right at the beginning, this is a learning mission for me. So yeah, I did say there was going to be mistakes, gotchas and such forth. Well, probably that's the biggie. Okay, the next one up is the German action number, and it's a 7. Okay, And now we work our way through. So we're looking at this row. First one that activates is L, German L is in the building. He's currently prone. So we now look, we know on his card, and yes, I know I might be repeating this, but I'm going to go through it in detail for everybody. So we have his card here. Get there at the camera. It's showing me with his die roll, we just rolled the activation number 7. Okay, and we know we're at condition 4. It tells me to go to 800. So that's paragraph 800 for him. He's staying prone. Okay. That's all it says. Go prone. He's already prone. So he don't like what's going on around him. So I then move his chit. He's done one action. Now down to the one action box on here. That then brings up this row where we have Corporal Bell. Corporal Bell is over here. Alright, so he can see the officer in X. Now the interesting question is, has he managed to find his ammo? Because he run out of ammo. It doesn't say he retains his ammo, so I'm assuming he's managed to pick up some clips of his machine pistol. Does his ammo level remain? Well, he's reactivated. I don't know. I'll worry about that in a moment. So what I'm going to do with, and he's stacked with Dylan. Right, I am going to use his turn to activate Dylan, so giving Dylan a turn. So that means Dylan is now up with his Brownings, and he's going to fire at the Hosford. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Right, this is the aperture rule. Okay, so let's have a look at this building. So you can see this is a window, this is a window, that's a door. From the window, you've got, it goes out via that vertex and that. So we have a cone that it can fire out via that and that. So if my guys had been here, they could see him, but they can't fire at him. In fact, they wouldn't even have line of sight to him. But they're right on the hex line, so they can see through that window. So, put him back. So Dylan will fire. So it's a fire, it's a range of, I'll just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 7 hex range. So 7 hex range. So here's the lovely charts. Okay. The first thing I have to do, so we're looking at automatic rifle. I've got this number here. This tells me if the weapon jams. So there's a 5% chance that my weapon jams. So red to 10s. It jams. Yeah, that's not 100. That's 0. It jams. Okay. It's the first time that's happened. Okay. Dylan jams his BAR. That's not good. And yes, that uses up his action. So we're now onto this row here, and now these are done in alpha order. So L goes again, but he'll remain prone. There's been no change in this action number, so what's written on his card will stay the same. So he's now complete. So next up will be R. So we look at card R, and we're on action number 7 with condition 4. It says 809. 809. So do a paragraph check for him. So he does. Move as quickly as possible. He's moving. Full prone after moving, spending a movement point to do so if necessary. So move as quickly as possible. Okay, we have my first German actual movement in the game. So, German R, he has a movement allowance of 4. So first off, he's in the, let me move the camera slightly. Oops. He's in this hex here. He is currently prone, so he's got to do a stance change to stand up. It says move as quick as possible. Okay. 809. Full prone after movement, spending a movement point to do so if necessary. Okay. And to move him, we look up what hex he's in. So he's in K13. So hopefully there'll be an instruction in red, which there is. It tells me to move him to L13, which is here. That's one movement point he spent so far. Put that there to remind me. I now look at L13 to see where he continues moving to. Oh, it's got a paragraph reference there. 614. 614. Right, so if any active US soldiers are visible from the doorway, so that's this way, enter M14, so you go through the window to there. If no active US soldier is visible from the doorway, enter L14. Okay, well there is no, I have no one down this side, so you can't see anyone. So, I like this. It's very clever. Okay, so he's basically stood up, which was a free stance, moving there for 1, had a quick deco, see if there's any of my guys through here. There aren't, so then moves into here for his second movement point. Movement points, moving. This is aperture hex side, +1, 5. Okay. I wonder if that means also, it says aperture hex side. I'm assuming that means window. I better double check, make sure he doesn't have to pay an extra movement point for the door. Okay, so aperture is a door or a window, so it costs him an extra movement point from there. So it costs him 1, 2, 3. So he's only got 4 movement points, and it said that it wants him to end crouched. So no, it wanted him to end prone. So I need to put a prone marker on him. That costs him another movement point. So that's his complete. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, Interesting. Okay, so he's off somewhere, and that's his turn done. Oh, sorry, that was R, not S. Next up will be S. Paragraph S, we're looking at the dial was a 7. That's 8, paragraph 838. Runs into open hex. Right, I need to take a note of this. 838. Run into open hex. Crawl into any other type of hex. Stop moving and fall prone if a non-building hex out of US site is entered. If out of US site at the end of the round, remove German from the map. Okay, so I need to find out which hex. So he's starting in 04. So I need to see which hex he will move into. Tells me he moves to N4, which is... Actually, he's moved closer. Whoa. Alright, so I'm reading that paragraph again. 838. 838. Run into an open hex, it's not an open hex. Crawl into any other type of hex so he stays, remains crouched. Stop moving and fall prone if a non-building hex out of US site is entered. So he doesn't fall prone. Stop moving and fall prone. If out of US site at the end of the round, move from the map. So he's not out of sight. So he's moved forward, and that's it. Okay. He obviously feels confident. And that leaves the officer, X, and we had a special instruction for him. So officer X, we look at special instruction B, which was a 7, is paragraph 832. Right. If an active German in the same hex or adjacent hex, there isn't. If 2 or more eligible Germans have the same number, right? Okay, so that's bullet point 1. So that's, if no other active Germans in the same or adjacent hex, see 801. Crouch, he's already crouched. Then conduct best fire at easiest target. Fall prone after fire. Easiest target. Okay. Well, there's 2 really targets. We have here and here. And as there is, he's firing an automatic weapon. He's got a machine pistol. Because I'm assuming he's got that back. He's found some ammo. That makes that an easier target because there's 2 guys in there. So, firing his machine pistol. Let's see if he jams. No, 39. Definitely no jam there. Okay. The range, we know is 7. So that's medium range, so it's a basic 4 to hit. 4 to hit. However, he's got a weapon skill of +1, so that makes it 5. And the easiest target in there is Bell standing in the woods. So that's -2. So that takes it to a 3. But automatic weapon fire, +1 for each active target in a hex above 1. There is another guy in there, so it makes it easier to hit. So we're at 5 -2, 3 makes it a 4. So a 4 or less, and he's hit. He rolls an 8. Phew. Okay. As there's 2 targets in that hex, does he shoot at both? Or just makes the heat easier? C92. And doing a quick rules check here. Right, multiple fire targets. A target hex that contains more than a single enemy soldier is a multiple target. A US soldier is firing at a multiple target and choose any one German soldier in the hex. German soldier who is firing at a multiple target must fire at the one US soldier in the hex in the most exposed stance, which is what I've done. Soldier conducting aim fire with an automatic weapon against multiple target receives an additional +1 to his base chance to hit, which we've done, for each target in the hex beyond 1. In addition, his declared target is regarded as the primary target, and if he hits his primary target, he may also be able to damage other soldiers in the hex with the same fire. Alright, but he didn't hit his primary target, so he can't go on to try and hit the other guy. Okay, so, phew, he missed. Right. That brings Ambrose up. So with this officer coming back into action, what do? Oh, I didn't complete that officer's. It then said he went prone. I need to put a prone marker on him. There we go. So, when they're prone behind a window, you can't shoot them. I'm really torn out now what to actually do. I mean, I was, as I said at the beginning of the video, thinking of coming back this way, over this side, to take this building out, but now we've got this officer. Oh, it's fascinating, isn't it? It is. There's a lot of open ground here. We also know that the Brownings is out of ammo. Not ammo, it's jammed, isn't it? It's jammed. And Ambrose is armed with a submachine gun. Okay, so knowing that this is a window here, is there a chance that we can get our way around? Now I'm going to carry on with my revised plan A and come back over this stream and try and take this building, let me move the camera a little bit, this building out. Okay, so with that in mind, that's 2 movement points into the stream. I need to do a paragraph check, so that's L9. Sighting 1, we've already had sighting 1, so there's nothing additional. So that's 2. Into the brush for 4, and then go crouched. My free facing change. Stance change. That's Ambrose done. Next up we have Bell. Bell's got this German adjacent to him now. So he's going to fire at him. Point blank. Adjacent hex makes it 6 to hit. Bell is armed with a automatic rifle. So that's a semi-automatic rifle. So yeah, adjacent is a 6. Or do we go into close? No, we're not in the same hex. we could charge him. Yeah, because he's still crouching in the woods. That's -3, so a 6 drops to a 3. Throw a grenade. That's still a 6. But I don't think you take it into effect when you throw a grenade. Terrain. Or charge him. Ooh, 3 choices. Let me ponder. Well, as I've never done it, let's do it. We're going to do an assault. Okay, so Bell is going to assault German soldier S. So he comes into the hex. Says class as a charge. Okay, so he moves into there. I then go through the table. So it says base chance. So on here I've got base chance to hit of 7. Doesn't appear to be any modifiers at this point. It's only when I'm looking at what the effect is. So I've got to hit him. So yeah, there doesn't be anything else to look at. So I'm needing a 7 or less to hurt him. I roll a 3. So there's some form of damage. I then look on the assault table. I am trying to kill this German, I'm not trying to capture him. And the modifiers on this, there's -3 if making a charge assault. Attacking weapons skill modifier, there's none. And the defender has none. So it's a straight roll. I'm looking for high on this, and there is a -3. So what did I roll? A 3 becomes a 0. There was actually no effect. Darn it. Okay, so we're in that hex with him though, and that is Bell finished. To be continued. Okay, and that leaves Dylan, who's got the jammed BAR. Well, he's going to try and unjam the BAR. So clearing a jam weapon. His weapon skills +1. Okay. So, okay, a low roll on this one. 7. Typical. It remains jammed. See, if I had rolled that on the previous one, we'd have wounded the German. There you go. The difficulties of dice. So the weapon remains jammed. That's Dylan's turn. Those other 2 don't do anything. And that ends this action round, which I will then end this video. So, doesn't seem like a lot's happened, but narratively, yes. So this officer became visible again. Took a shot, missed, became prone. We have movement in this building. One of the Germans is ducking out. We've come back across the stream. Dylan's Browning's jammed and he couldn't fix it. And Bell has charged into the woods there to try and find this German. Couldn't find him by the sounds of it. And meanwhile, Gibson and Hudson are both panicked. So, that was the action for that round. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye Internet.